Hi everybody, my name is Barbara Lester and I'm a licensed clinical social worker. I specialize in working with families that are affected by autism spectrum disorders. And today I'm responding to a comment on my channel where a viewer asked for suggestions for developing social skills for young adults on the spectrum. And I think this is a really good question because I know at least in our community here in the Salt Lake City area, there are really very few options once someone is no longer a child or adolescent for receiving help with social skills. Now there might be more programs that are available in other communities. I'm just not familiar with any here. So one of my main suggestions really has to do with utilizing your special interest, if you have one, as ways to make and develop friendships. So for instance, if someone was really interested in anime, for instance, if that was a special interest of theirs, they might go to an anime con. Or if someone was really interested in chess, they might belong to a chess club and play in chess tournaments. If someone was really interested in board games, they might go to a board game store that has game nights that people can come and participate at. And so if you're going to an interest that is a special interest of yours and meeting up with other people who share that interest, then that could help begin and develop a relationship. So it's not specifically social skill instruction, but it's matching your interest with that of other people. Which is, one of the main ways that adults maintain their relationships with others. Another thing to think about, if you really wanted to think about developing social skills as opposed to, say, just meeting people you have a common interest in, that I think is wonderful, is to get involved in theater of some kind. So, for instance, there are things like acting classes for adults. And in an acting class, you're going to be learning a lot of social skills, but it's not like sitting in a group of people where you're identified as having a specific social skill problem and practicing and rehearsing a skill, which for some people just doesn't feel like a good match because they really might not even like being thought of as someone with a disorder. But instead, you're in a class where you're learning about emotional expression and how to articulate and communicate, and you're doing it in a fun way with a lot of other people who are also trying to learn how to act. And so it's a great way to develop those skills without feeling on the spot or being singled out as someone with a specific kind of problem. And one of the things I like about the theater crowd too is that it tends to be somewhat accepting of people that are a little quirky or different, just in general. I mean, that may be a stereotype, but I think there's, as a whole, somewhat of an acceptance of people that are slightly different in the theater world. You can also audition to be in a community theater play. Even if you don't have acting experience, a lot of community theater groups take newcomers and help train them in acting. And while you're getting trained in acting, you'll be learning some great social skills and hopefully meeting some new friends. And another thing that I like to suggest is, this is actually an idea, sort of a spin-off of something that Tony Atwood talks about when he talks about someone with Asperger's syndrome can consider actually living in another country. And one of the things that I would say is, although that is an idea, and because he talks about it as in, if you're a little bit quirky or different, it might just be attributed to the fact that you're from another culture, speak a different language originally, and you live in a foreign country. But I think that that same idea could be used in things like, such as, let's say someone wanted to learn Russian and they started hanging out some with the Russian community in their own town and learning Russian and going to different Russian speaking events and so forth. And so then you don't have to move to another country, but you could be learning more about a particular culture and be accepted by the people there, even though you might seem a little bit different, and they might really enjoy the fact of how you can be helping them, say, learn English. The same would be true for any other language group. So you could be having a great cultural exchange and also making friends and learning some about socializing with people. So those are just some ideas I wanted to share to get back to a viewer. If you're interested in additional ideas about autism spectrum issues, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is ASD Specialist, and I look forward to seeing you back here again. Please also feel free to leave comments or questions on my channel, and I'll do my best to try to respond to them.